Shabbat Shalom everyone. This week it is going to be Shabbat Parshat Miketz, which is coming up this Shabbat. Here I am just taking the kid, the baby, to enjoy some swing, some fatherly love. And no coincidence, we're talking all about leadership and strength in this week's Parsha. We see the whole story of Joseph and when he was sold into slavery with Potiphar and went to the prison, to the border dungeon for 12 years he spent, while after he was framed by the wife of a Potiphar, we learn in this week's Parsha. Now what's interesting is, we learn about the strength of when maturity really comes into effect, and the power of maturity in this week's Parsha. So we learn that we're related, at the end of last week's Parsha, he had spent 10 years inside this dungeon with a butler and a baker and successfully interpreted their dreams, we learn. And then it happened at the end of after successfully interpreting the dreams, the butler was released and was freed, and the baker had been sentenced to the death penalty, to execution for within regards to the dream interpretations being correct. And the butler remembered that Joseph was an expert at these dream interpretations, and it took him 2 years to reveal it to Pharaoh at the end, because Pharaoh was very agitated. He had 2 different dreams and didn't know how to interpret it, and went to everyone for interpretation. And then finally they released Yosef, and he was able to successfully interpret these dreams respectively. So, automatically he became from rags to riches. He was in the dungeon and everything else, and he became the Sagan, the viceroy of Egypt, at the age of just 30. So why does the Torah actually tell us? Why does it have to tell us his exact age? It says he was 30 years old at this stage in time. Why does it have to relate over the age at this point in time? So the number 30, there's no coincidence in it. We know that there's a significance to number 400, which is a bad connotation we see throughout the Torah. We see 40 represents change. However, 30 very much represents maturity, we see. And that this is very much from this week's Parsha. He needed to be the age of 30 to be able to lead the whole world. He became the head economist of the whole world. He was going to plan what was to be the map of taking out the whole of Egypt, which was a main emperor, out of famine and out of a recession at that point in time. He was a viceroy. He had the most prominent position, arguably in the whole world at the time. He was the most powerful person. He went from just interpreting the dreams with the emunah of Hashem, with the gratefulness of Hashem, to become 30. And also in the Pirkei Avot, it says that the strength of a person comes, in ethics of the fathers, at the age of 30. Someone's got to be of the age 30 years old. That's where the strength comes. And also we very much learn in a Parshat Naso in Sefer Bamidbar that we learn about the ages, the countings of the Levites, of the different people, the of the Merarites and the Gershonites and the Kethites, how old they were. They list them at the age of 30 to 50 because those were the prominent ages where they were working and dealing with the Mishkan while they were in the wilderness, in the Midbar and everything else. So that's what we see. So sometimes people could be, they don't know better. You see teenagers, they think they can rule the world. They know better than everyone else. However, very much, in order to implement things, sometimes it's much more challenging. If someone's young, they feel they can make their own business or anything else. It's quite rare, usually it does work out where someone is highly successful. Obviously, everyone should try. Every entrepreneur is going to very much advise that. However, when the real strength comes, when you've been living in this world, you've got a lot of da'at, you've got a lot of understanding. And just like Joseph had, he lived through so much, lived through being sold to the Ishmaelites and to the Midianites, and being in Potiphar's house, who was also one of the richest people, and also lived through those years in dungeon and grew up in the house of Jacob, of Yaakov Avinu. It was only at the pinnacle when he reached the age of 30, that's where he got the understanding in order to lead the entire world out to that stage. One can't be a total rookie when it comes to leadership. One has to have the understanding. And that's why I believe it was at the time we learn inside the Tanakh, in the Torah Nevi'im Ketuvim, we learn about the story of Yerovam ben Nevat. He had become the leader of Am Yisrael, and the people, he wanted to give like exorbitant taxes to the whole of Am Yisrael, and he had advice from the elders and from the young people, and he listened to the young people's advice, the minors, the rookies, and it led to be total detrimental. So sometimes in life when we're getting advice of the people, when we're looking for strength, for leadership, for the execution of a project, or whatever it might be, you need the age, you need the experience, you need the age. And sometimes to carry it out also, these things, you can't be the young rookie a lot of the times. You need someone that's got some understanding, someone with experience, someone that can take the people on to the next level to execute the thing. And that's very much Yosef. We learn in this week's Parsha. We learn the blueprint of the chief executive officer, of the chief financial officer, or whatever it might be. You need the strength to be it, because people have reverence when the people are older or have experience or very much the executive power. If someone's a rookie, it's very, very difficult to carry it out. And that's why the Torah testifies that the people had to be of the age of 30 in this week's Parsha. So yeah, it's also naturally this week it's Shabbat Chanukah. This week it's going to be, we're coming into the 5th and 6th days of Chanukah respectively as a Shabbat comes in. So it's a very special Shabbat also, where we also read the extra portion of the passages of Chanukah. And it's actually interesting, one extra insight in regards to this week's Parsha. So the whole week of the whole of this week, every day we are reading an extra portion of the Nesim, of the leaders of Am Yisrael. The 8 days of Chanukah, we'll read a different leader who was one of the leaders of Am Yisrael inside the Midbar at the time of all the different 12 tribes. So it's very interesting and insight about Joseph and maturity. And number 30, all about Chanukah is all about numbers. We've got 8 nights of Chanukah. We've got every night very much represents a different number of lights that we're lighting. It's a time of numbers also, and it's in this week's Parsha. Guys, I'll leave you with some scenes of this amazing park over here, so that you'll have an awesome Shabbat over here. And the baby wants to say Shabbat Shalom. She's waving. You want to say Shabbat Shalom to everyone? She's not even 2 years old yet, so it's going to be a bit difficult. Take it Shabbat Shalom lekulam. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah. Guys, have an awesome Shabbat, and enjoy, guys. Take care. Have an awesome week also, and a special Chanukah. Happy Chanukah also. Chanukah Sameach. Bye.